Nithyananda. With all auspicious blessings and grace of my Guru, His Holiness Paramahamsa Sri Nithyananda Swamiji, I welcome you all to this video. This series is where I am going to be sharing about my path and sannyas. Sannyas is, like I already mentioned, is only for the most courageous. Is for people who want to explore life, who feel life is the greatest adventure, and who are curious about themselves. Who am I? Where do I come from? What is the purpose of my life? Does God really exist? But I have not seen Him. How do I see God? Who is God? And there are so many unanswered seekers who want answers to these questions, who seek their own higher consciousness, who want to know about life, birth, death, after death, not just theoretically through books, but experientially. Such people seek the path of sannyas. Sannyas is not for people who plan to take vacations. It is not for people who think retirement is at the age of 50 or 40 or 60. Sannyas is the only place where there is no vacation, because our inner space is so complete with ourselves that we are always in vacation and always working. There is no conflict that I'm working now and I need a vacation, or oh, I'm on a vacation, I need to get back to work. The concept of vacation just disappears because of the space of completion we hold for ourselves and because of the space of responsibility we hold for everybody else. Sannyas is the oldest living civilized society. You must be wondering how I'm saying that. Based on what? There's no recorded history that sannyas was part of a civilized society, especially nowadays when a lot of people consider sannyasis and sadhus as some group of aboriginals or some group of weird, off-minded people who go into the deep dark forests and meditate for 300 years or 25 years or 40 years and then come back and express certain siddhis or just talk about their experiences. No. Sannyas was an order created by Lord Sadashiva himself, which is why it is the very first, in fact it's the first civilized order in the history of humankind. Sannyas was created by Sadashiva to uphold the culture, to uphold the dharma, and it is through the sannyasis that he continues to teach the science of completion, the science of enlightenment, which Lord Sadashiva himself taught through Devi to the rest of the world. You must be wondering, why is the science of completion or the science of enlightenment so important for human beings to know, to apply and live? Because it's the only way to live. The life that we know as now, the life that we're living as of now, the way we perceive relations, the way we perceive instances, circumstances, situations happening around our life is not the right cognition, is not the right way to live. Bliss, joy is the birthright of every human being, and it's only a sannyasi who will be able to remind the rest of the human civilization that this is your birthright, you are going off track. Realign, come back, find your highest consciousness, look in. You can empower yourself, not others. This can be done only by the flag bearers of Dharma, only by the flag bearers who stand with the courage, with the unshakable faith that the science of completion is the only way to live, and they feel responsible to teach this to the world. It's only sannyasis who can do that, especially sannyasis who are guided by a living incarnation, by an avatar like Swamiji, my Guru, His Holiness Paramahamsa Sri Nithyananda Swamiji. Everybody may wonder, what's the difference between an avatar like Swamiji versus anybody else. I wanted to share a small story here. I remember reading this in one of those moral stories when we were in school. It's about this young Brahmin boy, around 23-24-year-old boy, who goes from one village to another in ancient Indian times, where the paths were uncivilized, where the infrastructure was not set up. It was just traversing through the forest. So this 23-year-old Brahmin boy, whose family profession it was reading astrology and doing pujas and homas in various temples, travels from one small village to another city where he thinks he can find better future, ways to earn money. So he goes to the city, and as an astrologer and a priest, he makes quite a lot of money. After 3 or 6 months, he goes back to the village. He starts traveling back to the village with the money to share with his family. He has to pass through dense, thick forest, where even the daytime looks like it's dark. He's not afraid of traveling in the forest, because that's how people used to travel in those days. As he was just walking, without noticing, he falls into a deep ditch, and he starts shouting for help. Though he knows that nobody can actually come, he keeps trying and shouting for help. Suddenly he sees one hand come into the ditch. He takes the hand and he climbs up. When he climbs up and he sees a huge giant, it was a huge giant demon who had actually helped him out of the ditch. And he faints, because it's the first time in his life he's seeing some figure that is so huge, more than 12 to 13 feet huge, arms as thick as old trees, just hanging down like the old banyan tree. His hair was really, really long, completely dirty. Seeing this gory sight, the young boy just fainted. And when he came to, he thought it was a nightmare. But unfortunately, it was not a nightmare. Just sitting next to him was this cute demon. I don't mean cute in that way, but he was sitting cutely, waiting for this young boy to wake up. So this priest wakes up and he doesn't know what to do. He does not know why this demon is here, but he only knows he's grateful for the demon for saving his life. So he gathers some courage and he thinks, a demon can't be that bad. Not only he saved my life, but he did not actually eat me when I was sleeping. So this demon looks like a little civilized demon. Let me try talking to him and see how I can get myself out of this scary situation I have put myself into. So he starts talking to the demon and thanks him very graciously for saving him his life and asks him what he was doing here. The demon replies. He now has a gruff voice that comes from the deep throat, and he just tells him, I was just waiting for you to wake up so I can see your face when I eat you. Now this priest is really scared, but his mind is very, very fast in thinking how to save himself, and he says, oh, I am so happy to be eaten by you. It gives me punya of janmas and janmas if I'm going to be eaten by you who saved my life. What better way for me to repay you than to let you eat me? I consider this the greatest salvation for me because you saved my life. This demon thinks, oh, this Brahmin boy doesn't seem to be scared of me, so he's not going to run away from me. That's cool. This Brahmin boy is still talking. He says, I will be just so happy to be eaten by you anytime, any moment. But you see, I'm a very famous astrologer. I'm a very famous priest. In fact, a lot of people consider me a guru who can predict your future and tell you how you should be living your life. Not only your future, but your past also. Now the demon is a little, he starts finding it a little fishy. He's thinking this guy is up to some trap, and he says, I don't want to know my future or my past. I'm just hungry and I want to eat you. The Brahmin boy says, I am telling you, I am very happy to be eaten by you. Do you want to boil me or fry me or eat me as is? I'm okay. But don't you think you'll be losing out on something if you do not know your past and your future and for what purpose you have been born in this life for? The demon says, okay, you don't seem to be the running away kind and you seem to be a little puny and weakling. I can always catch you any time. Tell me what was my past and what's my future. This Brahman boy, being a fast and a smooth talker, tells him, see, in your last birth, you were the king of this huge Rashtra, the huge kingdom in India. And towards the end of that life, which was filled with richness, with wealth, with luxury, and you had so many people taking care of you, towards the end of that life, you hurt someone so badly that they cursed you to be the demon. You killed someone who was innocent of a crime which he did not commit without even allowing him to talk to you about it. So that curse is the reason why you are born as this gross demon you are now. But in this birth, as per your own Kundalini, which I can see, it says you can still become the king again and rule the kingdom. And instead of every day waiting in the forest for someone like me to come, for you to be eaten, if you sit as the king of a country, of a huge Rashtra, which is populated with wealth, with people who look very healthy, you will not have any scarcity for people to be eaten. In fact, your subjects will be happily lining up one after the other to be eaten by their king. Don't you think you should follow that prarabdha? The demon starts considering this proposal and he says, yeah, it has been very difficult for me also. I wait day in and day out. Once in a week or two, I get someone, I eat. What you say sounds very good. Okay, let's go. Let's go out to the nearest kingdom and let me stake claim on that. So this Brahman boy says, yes, perfect. As per your own Kundalini, the kingdom from which I just came, that was the kingdom that you were ruling earlier. So now let's go back to that same kingdom and let you take over. And I will make sure you are the king and I will lead you to the kingdom. They start walking back. While they're walking back, this demon is a little curious. He asks the Brahman boy, aren't you scared of me? Aren't you afraid that I will eat you any time? So the Brahman boy says, no. What I told you is the truth. I am integrated to what I said. If I am to be eaten by someone who has saved my life, I will be really happy. But I don't mind, which is why I am not afraid. I don't have a conflict in what I said to what I have inside of me. And they keep walking towards the kingdom. As they're nearing the kingdom, they see a Gurukul with a lot of these balasans sitting. They're sitting under a tree and they're being taught by an Acharya. The Acharya is in saffron clothes. For the demon, this is the first time he has seen someone in saffron clothes. He finds it a very strange color and he asks this Brahman boy, who's that man in that colored clothes, in that orange colored clothes? The Brahman boy tells, that is the Guru. He heads this ashram and in his ashram all these kids are taught. So the demon asks him, what does that Acharya teach? The boy tells him, the Acharya, who is the Guru, teaches integrity, how to live life authentically, how to live responsibly, and how always to be enriching. The demon says, what does he mean by all these? Why should I listen to all these things? Why all these boys waste their time listening to all these things? So the Brahman boy says, no, it is never a waste of time. You being integrated to the purpose of your birth is what every human being needs to realize. Once he realizes that, which can only be given by an Acharya or a Guru, and it can only be given in its purest sense without any hidden agenda by a Guru, by an incarnation only. And this entire group of boys are so blessed to have such a great Acharya, such a great Guru, such an incarnation teach them the purpose of their life, which will make them integrated to their life. Oh, the demon is very, very impressed. He immediately drops the whole idea of wanting to become a king. He drops the idea of wanting to eat the Brahmin boy, and he goes straight into the ashram and requests the Guru, please teach me the purpose of my life. Please show me the path to where I am supposed to be heading. I am just wandering like a demon in the forest with no purpose and just living life day in and day out just as it comes. Now the Guru, being an incarnation, is an ever compassionate, with no judgment and no opinion, just looks at this demon and smiles and says, welcome home. I will show you who you are truly are, what your capacity is. You are Sadashiva. You just need to find the path to that. The moment the demon hears these words, the gruesome form starts changing, and the violence that was inside of him starts dropping, and within a few seconds you can see the transformation visibly from the demon to a young man who is 30 years old, looking so humble and standing in front of his Guru. This is the transformation that a Guru can do to you. This is the path that a sannyasi can show you, can do to you. The transformation of life, the path of life, can only be genuine and authentic on the path of sannyas, which can be only shown again and again to you by the ever compassionate Guru, which is what we all experience day in and day out, living around my Guru, His Holiness Paramahamsa Sri Nithyananda Swamiji. I have seen Swamiji being so compassionate towards every one of us, letting us do what we want to do, be how we want to be, even with the most closest of our relationships, be it a mother or father. There is always a barrier, there is always a wall where we do not show the ugly side of us, with the fear that they will reject us. But it's only the Guru who will accept you, knowing that you have an ugly side, but seeing the possibility of the beautiful side, just like how in that story the Guru did not reject the demon, seeing the ugly side of the demon, but saw the possibility of him and accepted him as his disciple. Only a Guru can do that. And it's only a sannyasi who can take this message to the world with the authenticity of the experience that they have experienced. Please leave any questions, clarifications you have regarding sannyas, why Swamiji, or anything else you have in life, and I will get back to you. Thank you, Nithyananda.